Every single thing, is like people are just putting roadblock for Africa not escape our own cage where we are.
The richest man in Africa needs about 38 visas just to travel across his continent. Nigeria exports crude oil. Europe refines it. Africa buys it back at triple the price. And we are told this is how the world just works. Africa's richest man is fed up. Brothers and sisters, what I'm about to tell you isn't something new. Julius Malema said it. Patrice Lumumba died for it. Thomas Sankara was buried for it. But when Aliko Dangote said it from the stage of Africa We Build Summit, the world finally listens. The question is, will we? Welcome to Fast Facts Africa, the channel that tells the stories shaping our continent, not from London or New York, but from the soil of Africa itself. I'm your host, Fane. Today we are dissecting a speech that should be played in every parliament, from Lagos to Lusaka, from Nairobi to Cairo. Dangote didn't just talk business, he diagnosed a sickness, and the prescription: Pan-African industrialization or perpetual poverty. Let's get into it. I want you to listen to this madness. Africa holds 30% of the world's minerals, 12% global oil, 8% of natural gas. We have cobalt for your electric cars, lithium for your batteries, gold, diamonds, platinum, name it. We dig it from our earth. But here's the sickness. We export raw material. Europe, Asia, America refine it, manufacture it, brand it, and sells it back to us as finished goods. We export jobs. We export our children's future. Then we borrow money from these very same people who buys our minerals cheap. To buy back our resources, it is expensive. Dangote called it out plain. Exporting raw materials while importing finished goods is holding Africa back. And he is right. This isn't economics, this is economic colonialism wearing a new suit. The good thing is Dangote didn't just diagnose the sickness, he built the cure. A $19 billion refinery in Lagos, the largest single train refinery in the world, fertilizer plants, petrochemical complexes, cement plants across the world. He proved what they have said was impossible. And here is what makes this Pan-African, not just Nigerian. Dangote said African businesses, backed by African banks, can fund African projects. We don't need Paris. We don't need Washington. We need each other, and nothing is impossible, he said, if the government is to give the right support. The key word there is if, because right now Africa is just providing bureaucracy. They provide corruption. They provide 38 visas and border delays that turn days into weeks. Dangote asked, if someone like me would need 38 visas to travel across Africa, how do I invest?
Fine. You look at Africa today, if somebody like myself, I need 38 visas to move around. How do I now invest if I'm not able to move around? 38 visas doesn't make sense.
Let that sink in. The richest black man on earth, 38 visas, just to move around his own continent. That's the mentality that they had as they were drawing the borders of Africa in Berlin. That's not Pan-Africanism. That's managed fragmentation. Dangote revealed that moving goods between countries takes weeks because of border bottlenecks. Weeks. In Europe, goods cross from Germany to France in hours. In Africa, Togo to Ghana can be a nightmare. And we begin to wonder why we are
free
poor.
movement of goods and services. These are critical areas. Without this, there's no way we are going to have a very prosperous Africa. Because with this, I cannot move my goods from Nigeria, from Lagos to Republic of Benin. And when you try to cross the border, you can be there for a week if you are lucky. If you are not lucky, you don't know anybody, you're going to be there for 2 weeks.
Dangote told the IFC managing director right to his face, foreign investors will only take Africa seriously if we begin to invest boldly in Africa. We cannot beg for respect. We must command it through our own capital, our own commitment, our own confidence. And it's already happening in our own pockets.
Investors. A foreign investor will not come without the leadership of domestic investor. So a domestic investor must take the risk and start developing your own continent, not for you to wait for foreign investors. Foreign investors will only come when things are looking rosy and good.
Remember when Kenya's leader proposed a grand refinery in Tanga, Tanzania, petrochemical industries, processing Uganda's crude right in East Africa. Without that vision, Uganda's oil would create jobs in Dubai, in Rotterdam, while Ugandans would spend billions importing something that actually came from their own soil. Dangote saw it. Kenyan president saw it. The question is, why doesn't every African leader see it? Because seeing it requires sacrifice. It requires building for the next generation instead of stealing for the next election. It requires industrial policy over political rhetoric. As one commentator said so powerfully, economies don't thrive through corruption, hate talk, conflict, using youth for drugs and gangs. They thrive through skills development, through industrialization, through commitment and consistency. So here's the prescription straight from the summit stage. 1. Stop exporting jobs with our raw materials. Refine here, manufacture here, build here. 2. Tear down visa wars. If the European Union can do it, African Union can also do it. 3. Finance each other. African banks funding African industrialists. 4. Stop the greed. As our people commented, you are the richest continent on earth. Use what God gave you. Number 5. Give youth something to build, not something to flee from. Make them volunteer, make them skilled, make them own the means of production. Little by little becomes big industry. If there is commitment, and that commitment must start today. Dangote didn't say anything that Julius Malema didn't say before. He didn't say anything that Thomas Sankara died without saying. But he said it as Africa's richest man from the stage of the Africa We Build Summit, with the evidence of refinery behind him. The question isn't whether we can industrialize. The question is whether we got the political will to stop managing poverty and start building power. This is Fast Facts Africa, your go-to channel for breaking news and stories that shaped our continent of Africa. If this message resonates with you and believe that Africa must stop begging and start building, hit that subscribe button. Share this video, because when our stories travel, our consciousness grows. Fast Facts Africa. We don't just report the continent, we fight for it. See you in the next one. I'm Faye. Goodbye.
How do I take my content out of trouble? Because we cannot continue. Every day we import food, we import whatever that we consume. Okay, so we decided that, look, the best thing that for us to do is to look at what are the needs of Africa. And the needs of Africa is petroleum products, fertilizers. You know, today, Makchar, we are going to be, about 2.5 years, will be the largest fertilizer company in the world.